Welcome to One on One on God 101. Look who our guest is today. You know
Hi,
him.
Miss.
You love him. I love him. Cedric, the fourth person voted off of Big Brother this summer. Hi, Cedric.
Hi, Miss Julie. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing? Because you look great.
Thank you so much. You look beautiful as well. I'm blessed, thankfully.
I love your attitude of gratitude. Now, it's been 4 days as we are recording this. It has been 4 days since you got evicted, and you spent 31 days in the house. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Luckily, you once you get out the house, you kind of get back to reality. So 4 days has been enough to transition, and all the love I've received from everybody is amazing. So it's really made it easy to come through.
Now, I want to talk about your one of the quotes you said just as you left, and you said it multiple times. You said, God has a plan, God has a plan, God has a plan. And you are right. God does have a plan for each and every single one of us. And I felt like my personal opinion was you were very humble and grateful in the house. And I feel like I have to give the glory to God. When did you first start your relationship with God? How did that start?
My relationship with God kind of started when I was a kid. My favorite pastime used to be going to Sunday school, going to church. I started really young.
I want to give your origin story because I don't think everyone knows it. Correct me if I am wrong at any point, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You're the oldest of five kids.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that like a checklist. You're the oldest of five kids.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, your dad was in prison and your mom was addicted to substances. So your grandmother raised you and your siblings. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
And since you being the oldest, I feel like you probably helped raise your siblings as well. Is your grandmother the person who first led you to the Lord and going to church?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Is she still with us?
She is thankfully, blessedly.
Oh, what did she say about how you did in the house?
She's proud of me, thankfully. So that's kind of all that matters. She respected how I carried myself, and that's what was in play.
Now, you took your first job in construction when you were how old?
I think 12. 12 was
And why did you do that?
just so I can kind of help everybody out. Times are hard, and people go through things, and I didn't want to be a nuisance or like a hindrance to the family.
As a result, you helped your grandma put food on the table, didn't you?
Yes,
And then how did you, okay, you had your former US Marine, did I get that right?
that's correct. Yes, ma'am.
And when you were in the Marines, you had the highest security clearance. Am I right?
So security clearance is going caveats, but at the base level, yes, ma'am.
Oh, at the base of, okay. So clearly you know how to keep your mouth shut.
Hmm.
And that's what I want to ask you about if that played into the game. Because when you were head of household and suddenly there was like Tucker, this idea brewing, all right, Cedric, he thought in his mind, I'm going to save Angela and you're going to put up Quinn, the biggest competitor in the house. And you said to him, you were honest, but you didn't expose your alliance and others. You were like, we don't have the votes. And
Sure.
I felt like he ran with it, just making that assumption that you were going to do what he wanted. But when you didn't and you nominated Mackenzie, he told the whole house he was coming for you. What were you feeling in that moment?
Um, I was feeling like I was kind of feeling played a little bit because I had told him, and that's where the our disconnect was. He felt like I didn't tell him. I felt like I told him, and so it was just, I was really kind of feeling sad that he was so angry at me, and it kind of made me like. It was emotional, but I was feeling bad because I didn't want. That's why I had told him because he wasn't an ally, but I didn't want to blow up his game. So I tried to tell him like, "Hey, look, don't do that."
Did you have any regrets as you were feeling sad?
No, man. I just, I told him to use it on himself. He made the decision to not use it on himself. And I made the decision to stick with my original plan and stay loyal to my allies.
And yet it seemed like you had a healthy rivalry with him and there was no hate. How would you describe what happened to your relationship in the house with Tucker after that moment?
After that moment, things kind of cooled down, and we were both very mature. And Tucker's an amazing person, an amazing man. So we kind of both had that conversation. Like, look, dog, it's the game. Like, this isn't. I don't. It's nothing on a personal level. I'm not coming for you on a personal level. I didn't not do what you said on a personal level. But at the end of the day, it's the game. I respect your game decision. And then we both were mature about the situation.
You just got out of the Marines when you got cast on Big Brother. Am I right?
You are right. You are right.
Like, how much time passed?
End of April to move-in day.
Wow. And how long did you spend in the military and what led you there?
COVID led me there. I just did one enlistment and was done. But I graduated in 2020 and COVID kind of shut everything down. So I was like, who gets paid still? It was just the U.S. government.
Right. And what was your time like there?
It's an amazing. The Marine Corps definitely isn't for everybody. There's a lot of things that happen, but I was lucky enough to be blessed with an amazing unit around, surrounded with amazing people. So I had an amazing time.
You feel it was because you know God that you felt blessed there?
Oh, 100%. And I think that you can take it into knowing God, you can take into every encounter in your life, be it positive or negative. If it's negative, it's a test of faith and, God has your back. And ultimately, you'll work through your negatives. And if it's positives, it's a blessing from God.
What was God's role in the Big Brother house for you personally, Cedric?
Just kind of keeping me grounded and keeping my morals and everything aligned. It's crazy. This is gonna sound super, super insane, but every day I would open my Bible to a random chapter and then read the whole chapter. And it was insane how many days, because it was every day that the chapter aligned with something I was going through in the house. So it kind of gave me guidance.
Well, hearing you tell that story is proof of what I feel is proof of it is not random. There is no such thing as random. God is in control of everything. So I say thanks be to God for all of that. Um, as we say goodbye, Cedric, you're only 21, right?
21, yes, man.
What's next for you? What dreams and hopes has God laid on your heart for your amazing future?
As of now, I'm kind of, I don't have a job, just fresh out the Marine Corps, so I'm trusting God with whatever opportunity He would love to provide me. I would love to stay somewhere where I can kind of spread positive, excuse me, where I can spread positive vibes and kindness, and share the Lord's word. So wherever that takes me, but I'm perfectly fine with, flying a plane and doing my own thing in school.
Well, wherever you are, you can have your own ministry, whether it's, to me, there's no such thing as a secular job, whether you're flying a plane or serving in a church, like actually getting paid for ministry. I feel like you could always be a living, walking Bible. Final question. Who are you rooting for? And who are you rooting for? And who do you think has what it takes to win Big Brother 26?
So I'm rooting for the anybody in the original Pentagon. I kind of caught like a glimpse of last night's episode and saw Quinn was really torn up that I got voted out. So anybody in the original Pentagon, Quinn maybe, but Chelsea, Cam, Brooklyn for sure. Chelsea is, I think, the best player in the house, so I think she has what it takes to win.
She's definitely smart. We have to see if you have numbers.
That's
You have
true.
to be smart and have numbers. But if you're smart, numbers don't really matter, I feel. All right, Cedric, any last thoughts before we say Godspeed to you?
A reminder to everybody. I've kind of adopted this saying is, be kind, and then if your light shines on the people around you, everyone's light becomes brighter, and the world becomes a brighter place. So just kind of take that with you.
Those are wise words to end on.
Thank you
Cedric,
so much.
God bless you and Godspeed.
God bless you, Miss Julie Godspeed.